I'm gonna buy the book when we get off this call. I think I'm really interested to hear all these
I have a
stories.
special, only $100 for you. I got a copy for you right here.
Only for 100. That's a
Yes.
steal.
Boom. There you
That's
go.
a steal.
It looks like it's backwards on my screen, but I don't know. There you go. Call for
No,
traveling.
it looks good there. But I mean, after this episode gets over 1 million views, you're gonna end up retiring off royalty checks. That's what's gonna happen.
Oprah's going to have me on next, then Ellen. It's going to get out of control. So it could be a package deal, though. We can go on together.
Hey, well, I'll be fine with that. So, in your opinion, I want to take it off of you a little bit and give your little self a breather about talking about yourself. So, what about Penn State's basketball team this year? I know you mentioned it in my news package, but in your opinion, how far do you think they were going to go during this year?
Man, how fun was it to watch those guys this year? I mean, like
It was
every game,
amazing.
it was like, well, they won like 8 in a row or something at one point, and, beating all these teams. They won up at Michigan State. I mean, they were a top legit team this year in the country. And I was so proud of those guys. I'm really happy for Coach Chambers, Lamar Stevens, and the whole squad. But, I think for sure they could have gotten to the Sweet 16. I mean, I think they win their first game, is like they were projected to be anywhere from maybe like 5th to maybe 7th or 8th, depending on how they would have done in the Big Ten tournament. And then, the second game, they could have won for sure, got the Sweet 16. And then from there, it's like, I mean, your confidence and momentum is just building as you're winning these games. So, I mean, they could have gone to the Elite Eight. They could have, who knows, man. They play the right way they've been playing. Why not a Final Four? So, they had so many good tools this year. They were a good shooting team. They had great inside presence. I mean, it was a really, really fun team to watch. And it just blows my mind of like all the years that this would happen.
They finally get there,
Yeah, like why not have this happen like, my senior year when we were like 7-21, like that's the year when it should happen.
So, what do you think the outcome for next year if they were to play? Do you think, I mean, they're going to be losing Lamar Stevens to the NBA and some seniors, but what do you think that team, do you think they'll have a chance to, go back to that tournament?
Yeah, I think they've got some good guys coming in. I think they've got such a stronger culture now where enough guys have been there and, the coaches are doing a great job that they're going to have a shot now for the next couple of years, it looks like, with the talent they've got coming in to be able to make it to the tournament. And I think for them, like that's their next consistent goal and kind of milestone for them is to be able to get to that tournament, be a dangerous team every year, and that's where they are.
Yeah, and I agree, and I hope they do well because I mean it really sucks. This year I was so excited to see what's going to happen. But in terms of you playing basketball, still, when I was talking to Brian Tripp yesterday on this when I put that episode out, he was like, oh yeah, because I told him that I'm going to be talking to you next, and he's like he's still playing rec leagues. I was like he knew that you're still playing rec leagues, and I was like yeah, I was like so, but I gotta ask, can you still dunk today?
So I get asked that a lot by like younger kids because I'll coach my daughter and her teams.
They're like,
we want to
whoa.
see you dunk. We want to see you dunk. And I'm like, all right, now listen, I can still dunk, but you will not be impressed, right? Their impressions of dunks, like what they see on ESPN Top 10 every day. And then like they see me do it and they're like, oh, yeah, all right.
Never mind.
I mean, you did it. Technically, yes, by the dictionary, that is a dunk. So I was never a high flyer to begin with. But I always joke with my dad, is like, what do you want for your birthday? And I was growing up, I'm like, I want a 40-inch vertical. So he prints out like this 40-inch piece of paper thing, and it looks all cool. He's like, here you go. Here's your 40-inch vertical. I'm like, Dad, you gave me your height. Thank you. But you also gave me your leaping ability. No, thank you.
So, I mean, I feel like you could put Michael Jordan on a poster, but I mean, I know you're very humble about that, so I know you won't agree with me.
Oh no, Mike's on all his own posters, man. My posters are. I'm wearing some funny jersey in a foreign land with crazy colors and a name you can't pronounce.
But you have your Utah Jazz jersey, so you can rep that still.
Yes.
But speaking of Michael Jordan, have you been watching the Last Dance documentary by any chance?
Oh, I think I might be enjoying that documentary more than like anyone on the planet.
It's amazing.
it's so good, right?
Hmm.
And see, I grew up outside of Chicago in the '90s, and so like that was like our world, man. The Bulls were like the biggest name team. You got the biggest name in the world, Michael Jordan, and we lived like not that far from where these guys practice. So they practice in Deerfield at a place called the Berto Center, and I lived in Lake Bluff, which was maybe like 20 minutes away from there. And so Bill Cartwright, he was a center on the first three championship
Yeah.
teams. So his son was in my high school class.
No
So
way.
we're huge Bulls fans growing up and everything. Um, I remember one Halloween we were like, let's go to Jordan's house, like we'll go ding dong, like, hey man, trick or treat, let's get some candy from Michael Jordan. Well, being the really brilliant, high school kids we were, there was like 8,000 cars thinking the exact same thing. Like, so we didn't even get close. And then somebody's like, he's on a road trip. They're like out in Boston or something. I was like, oh, all right.
That
But
is so funny.
yeah, but it was my other claim to fame is I babysat one time for John Paxson's kids. So John Paxson
No
was a
way.
great shooter for that team,
Yeah.
and a bunch of these guys lived in Lake Forest, right next to where we did, and so I babysat for his kids once. I didn't actually meet him, but I babysat for his kids.